Yay! We're live. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Um, I hope. Yeah, this is the beginning of the week for a lot of people, or the end of it, however you want to, categorize your Sunday. But happy Sunday! Yay! I'm happy that you're here. Let me know if you can hear me. As always, let me know if everything's working. Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from, how your weekend was, how it went. Did you get a lot of rest? Rest is important, you guys. So we're doing a live tonight because I've been doing it on Monday and Tuesdays, but Tuesday is actually my birthday. So yay! So I'm excited, and so I kind of just want to be present for my birthday and not do anything at all. So yeah, it's like the last hurrah before classes start and all this other stuff. So I really just kind of want to be present for my birthday on Tuesday. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today too. Not just my birthday, but about getting older and celebrating yourself, and like living your life to the fullest, right? So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And so, like I said, let me know where you're from. Let me know how you're doing, how your weekend's been, if you can hear me, because that's important. But either way, we are going to have some fun today. Last time that we did this, we had we just doodled a little bit, and I think, I'm kind of feeling that again. So let's do that. But yeah, let me know how you're doing, where you're watching from, all that stuff. All right. So this is a picture that my friend Marcus took. So this was actually taken during my husband and I's engagement photos. And this was we were in the woods, it was dark. And so my friend Marcus, he took this picture of me, and I really enjoy it. And since we're talking about celebrating yourself, I thought it'd be a great idea to use this photo because it just looks like happiness. It just looks like happiness. So like I said, we're going to have some fun today. Aw. Thank you. So for those who are just coming, my birthday's on Tuesday, so we're going to talk about celebrating yourself, and that's why we're having live today and maybe tomorrow, because usually I've been doing it on Monday and Tuesday nights, but Tuesday is the actual day, so I just want to relax and chill. So thanks, and thanks for saying I look and sound great. That means a lot. All right. So let's talk about this thing, aging, right? This thing that everyone's afraid to do. And I get it, because again, society makes us feel like if we haven't hit it big by the time we're 25, then nothing we do matters, and there's a lot of people out there who kind of want to sell this dream, this idea that I've been hate watching a lot of people talk about high value men and and women, and how if you hit 30 or something, then you're at the age where men kind of don't favor you or something like that. Is stupid. But either way, there's a lot of pressure put on people and women to be great, whatever great means, I guess, in the eyes of the world and society, to be great by the time that they're 25 or before they hit 30, right? There's all these lists, 30 under 30 and 40 under 40 and whatever, and so on. And so it's this race to be amazing by the world standards by the time you're 30. Or I guess technically maybe 28, so that you can be included in next year's 30 below 30. And it makes you feel dang, well, if I'm not in 30, if I'm not in the 30 under 30 club, then is what I'm doing does it matter? Is it important? And to that I say yes, it is. Because people who make it before make it, what does that even mean, right? What is success, right? So success in the world standards, maybe you're famous or you're rich or you started a business or a movement or whatever, or you're widely known. That's how they define success. And so the idea of being 30 under 30 means you've accomplished something worthy of celebrating in the world standards. And so what we don't realize is that most of the world doesn't get it right before they're 30 years old. All the articles and stuff that we see, all the attention that's put on all these people who are under 30, it's a very rare occasion that really happens. It's very rare that before 30 you hit the thing, you win a Pulitzer Prize, you know what I'm saying? Do all the stuff that people think is worthy of celebration. And so, like I said, my birthday's on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I am turning, let's see, 31. Ooh. And so for a lot of people, it's like, oh my God, like 30, 31. Like, first of all, when did this happen, right? But then also, it's like, I kind of feel the same as I did when I was 25. Like, I don't feel, like, physically, I feel heavier. I think I gained weight. But beyond that, I don't really feel that much different than I did when I was 25. And, you know, as I talked about before, when I was 25, I had my quarter life crisis. I thought my life was over. I was like, I haven't done anything noteworthy, blah, blah, blah. And my 30, I guess almost 31 version self looks back on that self and be like, girl, please, please. Because honestly, at this point in life, I'm not even interested in like hitting it big at a time that other people think I should hit it big by. You know what I mean? I honestly want to take my time. I want to build slow. I want to build deeply. You know what I'm saying? I want to have like deep roots and then be able to go beyond and do more stuff. Because the thing is, I'm not trying to be overwhelmed or sick or, you know, burnt out before I hit 30. Well, I mean, I'm 30 now, but you know what I mean? Like before I hit the prime of my life. I haven't even hit my prime yet, you know? And a lot of people feel like this is it. Like once you hit 30, it's like it's downhill from here. And so I disagree. And so, again, 31 is coming. 31 is drawing nigh. And with that, you know, when I thought about turning 30, I was like, well, what have I done that's noteworthy? And, you know, I think we all need to take time to just kind of celebrate ourselves, right? So what have I done? And this is in no means like to create some sort of comparison between me and someone else. This is just something that I want to celebrate myself for. So in my 31 years of living, what have I done? And the first thing that we always go to is like college, right? Like, oh, I graduated or I have this job. I don't even want to go there. Like, let's go deeper, because I feel like people use that as a reason to celebrate themselves or to find someone who's, I guess, not worthy. Or like, you don't got no college degree. Let's not even talk about that. I'll use that as a reason why I persevered or something that I persevered in. So, yes. So as far as college, right? It took me 9 years, like I said before, to get my college degree. I'm going to try to draw a degree. Y'all, bear with me. I don't know. And then like a red thing. Like a little bow. Nope. You didn't do it. All right, there we go. So it took me 9 years to get my degree. And there was a lot of shame wrapped in that degree, right? Because again, we talked about before being a late bloomer and how much it sucks sometimes. That looks like a degree. How much it sucks sometimes to see everybody else doing their own thing and you're still an undergrad and people are like, when are you going to graduate? When it's going to happen? You know? And how kind of humiliating that is on a lot of levels. But I think for me, what I'm happy about is that I persevered. Like even, it's this long story, y'all. I graduated technically in 2014. First of all, 2004, I was 14 years old. In 2014, technically I graduated. And then my professor got me with the okie doke and was like, actually, and this is like months after graduation, actually didn't graduate. And so it was like one class I was missing. And so I had to, get up the funds, because technically with financial aid, if you get a C in a class, you're good to go, right? And so for this class at Towson, there's a plus minus system, which is, you know, in my mind a scam. But I got a B minus in a class. And so I had to retake that class. And so they weren't trying to give me any money, but somehow God came through and we were able to pay for my degree, to finish the degree. And I finished and I did it. And I was worried about being the oldest person in the class. I was worried about being behind in life and all that good stuff. But I still did it. Hold on. Shout out to Marcus. His birthday was earlier this month. He said, hey, happy early birthday. Thank you, Marcus. And Marcus says, you've been an awesome friend. Oh, thank you. I'm going to write that. Thank you. I'm going to add that to the list. Celebrate yourself and let your people celebrate you too. How much y'all friends? Oops. Well, it could be red. A little razzle dazzle, as y'all like to say. Yeah. A note about my friends, y'all. My friends are everything. Okay. It is my prayer. It is my wish that people have friends like the ones I have. Just imagine happy faces here, okay? Because again, I told you I'm gonna hit y'all with my stick figures. And there's more of us, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so my friends, so first of all, Marcus is one of like the bestest, right? We've been friends longer than half of our lives. Think about that. That's crazy, right? We met when we were 12. Yes, when you go into middle school, I think you're 12 years old. We met when we were 12. I'm about to be 31. He just turned 31 earlier this year. And so what is the math on that? Come on, PG County schools. That's 19 years. 19 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful because from 12 years old to 31, we've matured, we've changed, like we've grown. But at the heart of it, like the love is always still there. The silliness is always still there. I'm gonna get all gushy. But like the love and the... it's been consistent. And it's so funny because even though we've matured, I still feel like we're kind of the same people. The same people that we were back then. Still weird, still cracking up, still having a great time. Like when I hang with my friends, y'all need to listen. If you can't hang out with your friends in the house and do nothing and just chill and like laugh all day and just feel like you can like let down your guards, like you got to get some good friends. Some good friends, okay? Because my friends ground me. They love me. They love on me. Like even when I'm going through stuff, like I'll never have to feel like I have to be somebody that I'm not around them. Yeah, and they just take me, and they've seen me in every form. Like just think about from 12 to 31. It's like I have been 50 million people. You know what I mean? And thank God that I have such a quality group of friends. So yes, I will say that I think I have been a good friend. I think so. Again, Marcus said it, so I appreciate that. I know that there are places I can improve for sure. But I think what I'm most grateful for is that I have friends, right? And that I have friends that are able to mature with me and to, even when I mess up and I fall on my face, they don't just disown me. You know what I'm saying? Like they hold me accountable. And just because they want me to be a better person, like in our relationship with each other, but also just by myself. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful for that. What else has happened in 31 years? I got married. But again, I know people are like, well, that's the way that people measure your worth. To me, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I'm going to draw 2 golden rings. I got married in 2016. If I can find gold. Okay, there we go. I got married in 2016. Nope. And it was my first marriage. Hopefully my last. And it was great. There was a lot of work building up to that wedding, but the wedding itself was beautiful, was perfect. It was smaller. It was fun. And it was just us. It was us. Like if you hang out with us and like you're just chilling with us and stuff, like our wedding was just very us. It was just very, very chill, very friends and family. We had Sardi's. Sardi's actually catered our wedding, and that was an accident, but the food was delicious. It was amazing. People came back to the house after the wedding for seconds. Like we had leftover food, and so people came back and ate at the house after our wedding. So that was fun. But all we wanted to do was be surrounded by people who loved us, who supported us, people who we loved. And we had just that. That's exactly what happened. So again, friends. I got my degree. It took me 9 years, and I'm just glad I, pushed through. And for those of you who don't have your degree, it's okay. Like for me, it was just something that I had to do because this teacher told me that I would never be successful. The person who failed me, essentially, even though I got a B-, but again, the teacher who failed me basically told me I would never be successful in the deaf community. So like, I studied ASL or deaf studies, so sign language and like deaf culture. And my teacher told me that I would probably never be successful in deaf culture, meaning like, because I'm not deaf, like as an interpreter. And so that really hurt my feelings. That really made me feel like a failure. Like, what have I been in school for the past, at this point, 6 years for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have I been studying for? Just to do nothing, just to achieve nothing, just to be a big old nobody. And if you know anything about working in service, any human service field, like they don't pay a lot of money, you know? So it's like, I have all this debt, and this teacher has told me that I'm not good enough. And so now what? What do I do? And even though it took me a couple of years, eventually just got back on the horse. I'm like, you know what? Screw what she said. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to do it to prove it to myself. So I wasn't getting the degree to like, oh, I'm going to have all this money and wealth and power when I get this degree. I got the degree to prove her wrong, to prove her wrong to myself, not even to her. I feel like, because I had to suck salt, y'all, because she was the teacher in the class I needed to pass to get my degree after 9 years. And I'm like, I don't feel like being under her. And it's very true. I did not. But at the same time, it's like, am I going to let her win? Am I going to let her speak untruths about me and me take it and believe it and never go and just cower? And, no, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. So I went there, shoved it in her face. I think I got an A. And then even at the graduation, a couple of my friends came. And so even though they already did it the first time, and I appreciate them coming a second time, when I was graduating, they had this like after graduation meetup. And so like everybody from the major came together for one last picture. And so we took the picture, and right before we were leaving, the teacher, of course, she had to be shady and mean, was like, Alicia, whatever you choose to do, I hope that you're just going to be good at it. And mind you, my mom is there. And so my whole family's looking at her crazy, like, girl, what? You could have just said nothing at all, right? You could have just sat there and ate your food and been quiet. But she really chose to go out of her way just to be mean. And it really just showed me that, like, she's not going to change. But I didn't get that degree for her. I didn't get that degree to get a stamp of approval from her, because honestly, who is she, right? She's already proven that her opinions of me are not beneficial. So anyway, got the degree. That was huge. Yes, Marcus said that I've been an awesome friend. Thank you, Marcus. So I added that to the list of accomplishments. What else? I got married. I think that's a huge deal. Just because relationships have been trash, and really I've just been like, do I want to get married? Do I don't know, and just being honest, I don't have any healthy examples in my life, for real. Not really, of people who got married and stay married. Like, I don't have that in my life. So for me, that was overcoming a huge fear of commitment, a huge fear of boldly professing my love for this person, not knowing what's going to happen at the end of it. So like, it was huge for me to be like, okay, well, I guess, let's do this thing. I do love you, and I do want to spend the rest of my life with you. But there was definitely fear there before we said I do, because again, I had all these examples of all these failed marriages or failed relationships, even in my own life, right? Like all these men who said at one point, oh, I love you. And then later on, it's like, oh, who is she? I don't know who that person is, And so again, for me, that was a huge accomplishment. So shout out to you, Jamile, wherever you are. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think that we can look at our lives. And again, I'm going to write more stuff because that's not it. But like, I think sometimes when we look over our lives, especially when we're comparing our lives to other people, we start to think like, oh, snap, I haven't accomplished a thing in my life. You know what I mean? What does my life mean? What is the purpose of me being here? And, my life isn't like, I don't know, such and such is life. You know what I'm saying? Like we start to compare ourselves to like these great people who make the under 30 lists and all this other stuff. And we start to discount the amazing accomplishments we have made in our own lives, or that God has come through and blessed us with. Like, we're like, a degree, what is that? Such and such got a doctorate. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we play this game of like, it's like we keep moving the finish line or the mark where like, then we're good enough. Like, we're never going to be good enough if we keep measuring ourselves by other people's standards. You know what I'm saying? So I drew some musical notes because I feel like towards the latter half of the years of my 20s, that's so weird to say, right? It was just yesterday, but I feel like the latter half of my 20s is when I really started to step into myself and being like, no, I want to be a musician. I want to be a singer. And even though I always knew that, I feel like I didn't really take steps towards that until like the end of my 20s. And so again, this goes against everything that they tell you in the industry. Like they tell you, oh, if you haven't hit it by 25, then you're whatever, you're not going to be as sexy as you are now, like later in life. And screw that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like even as an almost 31-year-old, I have way more to say now that I didn't have to say at 25. Like, or I had the stuff to say at 25, but I didn't have the language to say it. Like, I was so in my trauma, in my issues, so in myself, so freaking out about turning 30 at 25, right? That I couldn't really focus on creating art like that. I was so bogged down with like this pressure of being great that I was paralyzed. I couldn't do anything. And it wasn't until like, I'm like, okay, I'm getting older and like, this is what happens. You get older and you get better. You know what I'm saying? You become better. And I really feel like I'm starting to become a better version of myself. And that version is less weighed down by societal standards, less weighed down by the pressure to be great and amazing by a certain age. I really feel like, again, it wasn't until, I hit 27 maybe. When I got my degree that I'm like, you know what? This isn't so bad. Like being 27 and being older, getting my degree is not so bad. It's not so scary. Arena Maynard Freed said, marriage is hard work and you two are doing great. Aw, thank you. Nothing that's worth it comes easy. I appreciate that. Because there are times, just being honest, in our marriage where we're like, first of all, on our honeymoon, we had an argument, right? So, and we tell the story now, like funny, but at the time I was like, oh my God, my marriage is failing already. Like we're barely out the gate, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh no, like did we make a mistake? And so then we were talking to other married people and they're like, oh, whatever, it's fine. Like we had an argument on our honeymoon too. That's normal. And I'm like, oh God, thank you. Because I thought like we were doomed from the very beginning. Like we're on our honeymoon, we're supposed to be having fun and you think of like the honeymoon stage, like no one's supposed to be arguing, everybody's supposed to be happy. And I'm like, oh snap, if we're arguing in the honeymoon stage, what's going to happen later in life? And so you realize like people have arguments all the time. You have little tiffs with your friends. Like that's not unheard of. And you love them. That love for them is not, is not being questioned. It's really just personalities, coming together. And when you're marrying somebody, it's not like you were dating. Like me and my husband dated for a year and a half. But it wasn't the same as living with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and seeing his day-to-day things or him seeing my day-to-day things that might like annoy him or strike him as like, that's a little, what's that? But yeah, it's all good. Hi, Barbara. Says, I can't imagine a teacher opening her mouth in a negative manner like that. This should never occur. A teacher should always be encouraging. Sorry this happened to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, she was awful. Like, I don't know how else to say that, but she was awful. And a lot of students had similar experiences with her. Like, I really thought it was just me because nobody else was speaking up and saying anything. Everybody else seemed like they were either trying to kiss her behind or just not deal with her at all. But upon graduating, I realized a lot of people had these similar experiences with her, just her making them feel like trash. And she carried herself like she was God's gift to deaf people, which is like, girl, ill. And yeah, later on, I found out that a lot of other students didn't like her, but we didn't have a choice but to deal with her because she was also the head of the department. So there really wasn't any getting above her. Like I had an issue again when I graduated, and she basically said, "Oh, just kidding." After months, like she literally, this is how evil she is. She saw me in line waiting to cross the stage, right? And she's like, "Oh, congratulations, Alicia." She saw me, and we have to have end of the semester meetings. And my husband remembers this because it was awful. And Marcus, like we have end of the semester meetings, and so it's like, oh, we look over all your grades, make sure everything's good to go, and then you're approved to walk across the stage. So I've done that with her. Then I cross the stage. She congratulates me. We go on with life. I have a job, y'all. I'm an adult. You know what I mean? Like I got a job with a 401k and benefits and healthcare and all that good stuff. And then what happens? 2 months later, she emails me and she's like, I'm in my training. And she's saying, oh, like in my training period. And she's like, oh, actually, you didn't pass this class. You got a B- or whatever. And so after that happened, I lost my job. I had to go on unemployment. They repossessed my car. Like, it was just so much. It was so much. They repossessed my car. And all of this was because she failed to either be honest about where I was in my grades, because again, you have to get a B and not a B minus, or she was just evil, and I really do believe she's evil. So I had a meeting with her, with the dean of the school, because she's the head of the department, but there's a dean above her. But because the dean doesn't know anything about deaf culture or ASL or nothing like that, she couldn't help me. We had a meeting and it went nowhere. So a lesson to all you teachers: don't crush your students' dreams like this. Like, they might not even, and this is the thing, I never claimed to be an amazing signer. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for you to say that I will never be good enough, that I will never gain the skills and never gain the knowledge, that's not even for you to say. But yeah, she was awful, and I think she's since retired, which I'm grateful for, because she should not be teaching anybody, and I stand by that. Barbara says, hi, everyone. Hi. Arena says, hi. Arena says, yes, age equals wisdom. Exactly. Hopefully, right? Last King says, get older, but not better. Oh my God, Father, so terrible life. What do you mean? What does that mean? And Barbara says, hi, Arena, and happy birthday to the special B-Day person. Yay! Thank you. I think if you meant that for me, thank you. So if you're just getting here, my birthday's on Tuesday, and so that's why we're having it today and Monday. Because Tuesday I'm gonna be, I don't know where I'm gonna be. My husband has plans. I don't know, but I mean, we're gonna be probably in the house because it's coronavirus out there. So yes. So again, pursuing music, I'm just starting to do that now. I'm really excited because I really feel like if I started my music back in my early 20s, which technically, whatever, in the early 20s or my early 20s, like I feel like it would lack substance. I feel like my music would try to be what I'm not, because I would want to be accepted. I was so busy trying to be accepted by people that I would probably lose myself in my music. Where now I'm like, I'm taking my time. I'm writing lyrics that mean stuff to me. I'm singing songs that actually move me and feel good. And really just trying to follow my gut instead of trying to follow trends or what's, sexy in the moment. Like, you'll probably never see me doing what a lot of other people are doing. And I feel like at this point in my life, that's okay. Because I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. Okay. And so also since then, I have, shout out to 3rd grade drawing skills. But I have written books. No, this isn't good, y'all. This is not good, but you know what it is. Just do a line down the thing. Yay. I have written little ebooks. I don't say little, because people say little like, oh, that's your little boyfriend or that's your little girlfriend, to try to like, make it seem like it's less, important as it really is. But no, I've written books. And I really thought, like, when I was younger, I always wanted to be a writer. Like, that was the first, like, piece of art I made, was a writer. I'm sure I drew, but I never really was drawn to drawing like that. Writing was my thing. Like, and I wanted to write all these books and these novels. And I'm thinking, like, I used to get these little kits, like, oh, how do I get published and all this other stuff? And I just figured out, I'm just do it by myself. Like, at some point, my husband, I feel like he showed me, you don't need to be, picked up by a publisher to publish your book. There are people out here who are publishing their art without any of that stuff. And so to y'all, if y'all want to do the same thing, like, you can do it on your own. We live in a beautiful time. You don't need publishers, labels, agencies to do the things that you want to do. You can do them now. You don't have to wait for someone to give you permission. Because the truth is, if I was still waiting for someone to give me permission, I probably wouldn't have done anything at all. I probably would not have done anything at all. I should have done like a 31 lessons of 31. But I think one of my major lessons, in my 31 years of life, which a lot of people are like, girl, that's nothing, right? But I feel like one thing that I'm taking with me is that being myself and standing for what I want to stand for and following my gut, like, my gut never lies. It never lies. If the person's going to break up with me, if this job is for me, if it's like not the right time, and I don't give myself enough permission to follow my gut, I'm always second guessing it. Like, I don't know, like, was that a good idea? And I think I'm okay to just trial and error. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna follow my gut and see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, it was right. And it doesn't have to be anything horrible, right? It's just not the right time. It's not the right fit, whatever that means for you. I think sometimes that we know and we search for things that we already know, and it's like, oh, let me Google it. And it's like, no, you already knew from the beginning. So that's one of my major lessons from 31. All right, on to the next thing. So we talked a little bit about aging, and we have already talked about like being a late bloomer and how society is like obsessed with youth. Like they're obsessed, where, you know, you were just talking about age equal wisdom. Arena, if I'm saying your name wrong, please tell me. But Arena was saying that age equals wisdom. And so one thing me and my friend Marquita were talking about is that in every other society except Western society, older women are looked at as like amazing, right? Like they're looked at as like, no, these are the people, or men too. Like we respect them, we revere them. Like they have all this knowledge, all this wisdom. We're going to come to them with all of our things, and they're going to like use their wisdom and answer those things. Like every other society is like that. Whereas Western is like, oh, let's throw away all the older people. You know, they're no longer useful to us. Sadly, that's the way that this country operates, or this mindset. Because not just this country, it's also other countries with the same like Western mindset, where it's like, oh, if you can't provide me money, right? If you can't be a good worker, if you're not pumping out, if you work in a factory or something, if you're not pumping out enough product, then you're no longer worthy to me. You're no longer valuable to me. And I feel like society kind of adopted this mindset where we have all these homes, and I get it. Some people who are older need special attention. So by all means, yes, right? But I also feel like in other societies, it's normal for older people to move in with their younger children. You know, I look at my great grandmother. She lived with my grandmother at my grandmother's house. And so, you know, there was always this thing like, no, like you're my mom. You took care of me. I'm going to take care of you, you know? And, okay, Raina said I said it correctly. Thank you. I'm big about getting people's names right. But yeah, so like in this society, because we're so like, we're afraid of getting older, and I would be too, right? Because y'all be throwing away older people. Like they're not valuable anymore. Like they're like, it's almost like if they're not sexy, if they're not productive, if they're not fitting this Western standard of beauty or wealth or whatever it is, then they get thrown aside. So if you're older, if you're black, like whatever it is, right? And even within being black, there's only a certain type of black that society wants, right? And so that's a whole thing. And if I lived under that mindset, if I had that mindset, I would be afraid to get older too. I'd be afraid. I have a gray hair in my head, and I didn't freak out as much as I thought I would getting a gray hair. And I feel like it's because it's like, okay, people get older, they get gray. Like that's what happens. But there's beauty in that. Like there's beauty in getting older. Like these people who want to stay young all the time, I'm like, but for why? Like, and I get it. Like everybody wants to be pretty. Everybody wants to be attractive. But we need older people. We need people to be old. We need people to be wise. We need people to lead us, to guide us. And I feel like their worth doesn't change. It's just that they're where they can be to be productive citizens changes. And if society won't allow them to change and to flourish while they're older, then like, yeah, they're going to feel useless. They're going to feel like they have no importance. And so I think for me, not that I'm like anywhere close to like retirement age or whatever that means, right? But I feel like for me, I'm not 15 anymore. And I said this because I've been trying to lose weight for forever, and going to such extremes of like doing 10-day smoothies, a 10-day smoothie cleanse. And so I did it the last time and I lost 2 pounds, right? I was so mad. I was so upset. But I also realized that I was actually being very unkind to my body. Like when you do a smoothie fast, first of all, you're only taking in like, I think they said at tops, like 500 calories a day. So essentially you're starving yourself. Like you are starving yourself. And we go to such great lengths to try to achieve this look, this youthful like look. And not that I think I look old. It's just that I look older than what I did when I was 20 or 25 even. When I got with my husband, I put on so much weight. Like I just, you know, it's hard. But like it's sad because I want it so badly to be this. I used to weigh 150 pounds. Okay. I used to weigh 150 pounds. And I'm closer to the 200 mark now. And so I'm like, Lord God, what is happening to me? What is happening to my body? I'm eating the same stuff. You know, I tried working out and all this other stuff, but like, it wasn't hitting it. So I did the smoothie cleanse. I'm like, okay, well, I'll lose 10 pounds easy, right? And so I did the cleanse. Like I said, I only lost 2 pounds when you're supposed to lose at least 10 to 15. And I was so angry with my body. I was angry with my body when really my body was in survival mode, right? Like sometimes when your body, and again, I'm not a scientist, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard this, that, you know, when you're not taking in a lot of calories, your body goes into like reservation mode because they're like, oh, well, I don't know where the next meal is coming from. I don't know what you're doing here. So I'm going to hold on to all this stuff. And I put my body into shock because I just gave it smoothies. And I'm like, why am I being, and I really feel like God was just showing me like, why are you being so unkind to the body I gave you? You're a woman now. And my husband tells me this all the time, but in my mind, I'm like, but I want to be skinny, you know, like I don't want to be womanly. I want to be skinny. And I'm saying all that to say, like, I think one thing that I'm taking with me as I'm getting older is that things are going to change. Things are going to, you know, be different. Things are going to be a little more round than they used to be. And when I was little, they used to make fun of me for how skinny I was. And so now it's weird to see this body that I don't recognize, that I don't know, and have to get to know it. And so wouldn't it be easier to lose weight? I mean, technically no, but like, wouldn't it be easier to not have to deal with my body today rather than actually get to know it, spend time with it, dress it nicely, you know what I'm saying? Throw out all the clothes that don't fit no more, because it's kind of like a parting. It's kind of like a breakup a little bit, like a breakup from who I used to be. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. Let me step in real quick. Irena says, no, age is a gift. It is a gift, right? It is. She says, just think of all the people that never made it to the age you are at now. Yeah, that's true. She says, I'm almost 49 and fabulous. Get it? Yes. And that is so true. Graduated high school, there was a woman, honestly a girl, she was so young, who died right after we graduated. I think a year after we graduated. And she died in a car crash. And for us, we were only like 19, I think, maybe 18 or 19. And people who went to Largo, that y'all know, but like, it was like, wait, we can die? You know that you can die, but until you know someone young who has died, you don't really think like, oh, I'm going to die in a car crash. You know what I mean? And so I think her passing really like hit us like, wow, like we are not invincible. You know what I mean? Like we are not, you know, we're not above death. And I do think about people who haven't made it to the year 30 or 31, you know what I mean? Or even, again, 21, like it's horrible. And so I think the more age that we get, we should see it as a gift. We should see it as, because it is a gift. A lot of people don't make it. Christina, yes, the idolatry of youth is so real on so many levels. Yes, it is. And you just see it like, oh my gosh, like, again, I've been hate watching, like I said, this man talk about high value men, and it's been like pissing me off. It's upsetting me and my homegirls because like he says that if you're a woman at 30 or above, then you're like at danger zone, which basically means that no man is going to want you after 30, which is like, what does that even mean? Right? Like, first of all, that's a lie. Like I know a lot of women who are dating well after their 30s, right? But at the same time, it really speaks to, if this is the truth, this speaks to like this obsession with youth, that like this, you throw away people who are older who don't fit into this mold. And I think it's ridiculous. I think it's disgusting. It's like, you know, and again, if you date younger, I'm not judging you, but I really feel like this guy specifically, he's saying that, oh, I'm 50, however old he is, and I got 29-year-old girls or 25-year-old girls like hanging from my arm. I'd rather want a 25-year-old than like a 30-year-old. And it's like, but why for? Like, because your vanity is like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. But again, if that's your preference, then go for it. But at the same time, I'm like, that's a little shameful in my mind, because it's like, what makes you better than a woman? Like, you're 50 something years old. I don't think that your worth goes down when you get older, but what makes you better than a woman getting 30? I don't know. It's very strange. It's a very strange world we live in. Barbara says, of course, that's for you, Alicia. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so if y'all just joined in, my birthday's on Tuesday. And so we're doing it today and tomorrow instead of Monday and Tuesday. Marcus says that's happy weight. Yes. And sometimes I wish I wasn't so happy. Okay. Because I'm trying to tell you, when me and Jamal got together, the pounds I don't know where they came from. I have no idea. But here we are. Christina says, so true. We can accept the fact that we're aging instead of trying to fight against it. Exactly. Oh, yes. To the smoothie cleanse, right? That I was talking about. I was basically anorexic for like 10 days. You know what I mean? And we accept things to be so normal. And that's not normal. That's not okay. Because again, if you're cleansing for health reasons, okay, do that, right? But if your main goal is like, oh, I need to lose this weight, not for health reasons, and I'm about to starve myself for 10 days, and but I feel good about it because it's all vegetables and fruits. There's still something wrong. There's still something wrong with that. There's something wrong with the mentality behind it. Not necessarily the act, but the mentality behind it. Mine was all wrong. It was like, I hate this body. I don't want it anymore. Let's lose this weight so I can be pretty again, And I think the harder work again is seeing myself in the mirror and saying, "You're beautiful, Alicia." That's hard. That's hard because my first instinct is to go to like, "Oh, girl, you got curves down here. You got a little jiggle where you didn't jiggle before." And would I ever talk to a friend like that? I would never talk to a friend like that. I'd be like, "You're beautiful," and I would mean it. But why is it so hard to do that for myself? That's something I need to work on this year. That's something I need to work on, is how I speak to myself. And Christina says, I think there's a humility in acknowledging that our bodies are working as God intended them. That's real. Aging, not death, is his design. That's real. And he views it differently than society. I agree. I totally agree. One above all, Alicia. Oh, is it Kevin Samuels? It is. It is. It's him, but it's also a whole bunch of other people in that same vein. I'm not trying to put no, what do you call it? X on me. Not X, but not putting a target on me, but yeah, it's him. It's just really annoying to me. It's something about a man, and I get it, right? Like, men are very visual creatures, true, right? But something about a man and women calling in, trying to get their ranking from him, I'm like, sis, no, please don't do this. Because he went viral recently and talked to a woman saying, you're average at best. That's the same guy. And so I'm like, please do not call him and ask him, a man who has very different opinions than other men too, about how valuable you are. Like, literally calling yourself a high value man versus a high value woman. It's like, he can't give you your value. And it makes me so mad. It makes me so upset. And his pillars for deciding if someone is valuable or not is very vain and just annoying. But yes, it is him. Sorry, guys. I know some people like him. Christina said, he must not know black women. Yes, black don't crack. Exactly. You how old? Huh? Oh, wow. I'm shocked every day when black women tell me how old they are. I am like, what? How? I had a photo shoot with a client in November and she was turning 39. And I was like, you cannot be a day over 30. This is crazy. But hey, I agree. Must not. You missing out. Okay. So this year I have a live life list. And so I'm going to share a couple with you guys and then we're going to get on out of here. But it's a 2021 I want to list. So some people call it a bucket list. And so I just don't want to call it a bucket list because I don't plan on dying after this. I plan on living a long life if the Lord wills it. But so I made a list of things that I want to do and they sound ridiculous. Some of them sound like how, because again, I love it when y'all say like there's a panorama outside or a Panera Bread. But yeah, there's a pandemic outside out there in the world. And I want to be safe, but I also have things that I kind of want to do. So if I can figure out a safe way to do it, I'm going to do it. But if not, we'll save it till next time outside is open. Okay, so the first thing I want to learn to do is to sail. I want to learn how to, and again, welcome everybody to my 4th grade drawing skills, if that. But I like doing this because I feel like, okay, sure. I feel like, kids don't think much about it. They're like, no, this is a boat. Like, this is a boat. And it's only us that we're like, I don't know. this isn't very pretty. It's not, standard. It's not to scale. No, like this is the boat. And so I'm going to act like how I did when I was in 4th grade. This is the boat. I want to learn how to sail. Also, I have horrible handwriting. What's crazy is I used to have good handwriting in elementary school. I don't know what happened. Yay. Hearts. Okay. Ooh, my eyes are watering. But yes, I want to learn how to sail. For all of you all who are in the Maryland area, there's a place in Annapolis where you can learn how to sail in a day. I don't know how that works. But I really want to take classes. My dream is to sail from Miami, Florida to the Bahamas. That's my dream. Like, that's what I want to work up to. So in the meantime, the Chesapeake will have to do. And I want to learn how to be able to sail by myself from Miami to the Bahamas. But we're going to start small and slow. And let me know what kind of crazy dreams that you all have for yourselves because, yes. Sorry, one more thing. Christina says, oh, yeah, sorry. You already said that. One above all, Alicia needs, the problem is that Kevin defines worth being attached to their looks, childbearing. Exactly. It's like, are women not more than looks? Like, women are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Women are gorgeous, right? But at the same time, it's like, that's not all there is to them. And that's alarming to me that that's how you base their worth. That's weird to me. And it's a man telling a woman how worthy she is. Like, that's almost like her worth is defined by her looks, her being able to bear children, and her relation to a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that gives her worth. And it's like, okay, so what are all the other single women out here doing? Like, anywho, my eye is really watering. Woo. Okay, so that's what I want to do. I want to learn how to sail. And again, share your things with me, guys. I would like to know. Okay. Second thing. I want to learn how to, I'm trying to figure out how to draw this. Sticking with aquatics. Yay. I want to learn how to stand paddleboard. I don't know what you officially call it, but those people who stand on those boards and go like this. Ooh, there's a napkin. Thank you, Jesus. The people who stand on the boards and kind of go through that. I want to do that. I've never done that before. I don't know how you would draw that, but there you go. I'll give myself a little hair. Might grow it out in the summer. You never know. Okay. Next. I want to, again, we might have to modify this. Might just have to drive. I want to go to Alaska. I want to see the Northern Lights. First of all, okay. Let's draw Alaska, shall we? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Okay. Alaska. Yay. And there's like islands out here somewhere. Something like that. Okay. Sure. So I want to go to Alaska. And I want to go to Alaska for a few reasons. Number one, I've never been. Number two, I want to see the Northern Lights. And I think I might have to see the Northern Lights in Canada because geography. And Christina says, you must love the water. Learning to sail is such a cool dream. Yes. So I do love the water, but I'm actually scared to death of it. Like, so I love swimming. I love going to the pool, but I have this fear, which doesn't make any sense. In the pool, I freak out if I'm in like a huge body of water and I'm the only one out there. I'm afraid that a shark is going to come and get me. I know it doesn't make any sense because they can't survive in chlorinated water. I get that. But like, I fear looking into the water this way or whatever way and seeing like dark water and like a shark just coming at me. It's a fear that I'm trying to get over because I want to do all this aquatic stuff. Like, but the truth of the matter is there is some sort of like validity to my fear, I think, because if I am in the water and a shark comes, the shark's going to win. Like I can't outswim a shark, like I can't outswim fish. When we go on cruises and stuff and we're in like the Caribbean, I freak out when I'm like in the canoe and like I see like a school of fish kind of following us. That freaks me out. I don't like, something about it is just very, very, very weird. Me and my husband on our honeymoon in St. Thomas, we went snorkeling, and we did this thing in like Stingray Alley, and so I was freaking out. I'm just like, oh God. Jamal was like, you got to hold my hand, but he couldn't wear his glasses because he wears glasses, and they gave us like these goggles and they wouldn't fit around his glasses, and so Jamal was like, girl, I can't do anything for you if something happens. But something about sea creatures just makes me fearful. And so I'm trying to get over that. And that brings to the next one. The next thing that I want to do. So I said I want to go to Alaska to see the Northern Lights, but I also just want to go just because I've never been. I also want to learn to swim with dolphins because I want to get over my fear. Like, that's how badly I want to get over my fear. Sure. Let's just draw down here. Nope. There we go. That's the water. So we went to Virginia Beach recently and saw some dolphins. It was so weird. First of all, it was December. It was freezing. And fin. Nah, it's like a shark. Okay. We went to Virginia Beach. We were looking out the back balcony, and we just see this a family of dolphins swimming down to the south, south in the Atlantic Ocean. And I was just like, what the heck is happening? Like, it was magical. It was amazing. And I've never seen dolphins in real life. Like, you know, you go to SeaWorld and stuff like that. I'm talking like in nature, I've never seen dolphins. And so I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so we're on the phone, we're screaming like, oh my God, like there are dolphins out there in the water. It was amazing. Christina says there is such power in just voicing what you want to do. Yes. Kudos to you for being brave enough to share your desires and being willing to face your fears. Thank you. I'm trying. Yes, face. You said, yes, that's definitely a rational fear. Yes. It's scary. Like, it's scary. Arena says, swimming with dolphins is great. They feel like a rubber tire. Really? Oh, that feels weird now. I'm trying to imagine. Oh, I want to do it. I really do want to do it. And I know that they don't mean any harm most of the time. I know dolphins are just like curious and, you know, they're helpful in a lot of ways too. But again, the fact that they have that over me, they can swim really fast and really far and just like thrive in the water where I'm just like splashing around, just trying to survive. That's scary to me. So yes. So next, I want to create a short film. So for my friends here, some of you all know that how should I draw this? That I am a photographer. Nope, don't want to do blue. But I've wanted to create a short film for a long time. But I just never did it because I have friends who are literally filmmakers, and I'm like, I don't want to be judged. And I don't want to be judged, and I also just want to do it for fun. Like, I'm not really trying to be like a filmmaker, I don't think, unless I discover something I didn't know before. I don't know, y'all. I'm trying. How does film look? Okay. People don't really use film anymore, but still. I would love to make a film. I want to make a documentary. I love interviewing people, like getting their stories. And so I want to create some sort of film where I get people's stories. I try to like interview my family, and they're always like, Alicia, you brought that camera here again. And yes, I did. Because I want to like the people in my family, my friends, the people I love, like they're so amazing. And I don't want them to be forgotten. And I feel like there's so many family members that we have forgotten, not on purpose, but just because, you know, it happens. Like, you forget how their laugh sounded. You forget what their tendencies were. You forget their little quirks and the things that made them them. And for the people that I love, I just want so badly for people to like, no, look at this person. They're amazing. Like, listen to them. And it's not because they've done anything extraordinary or like, you know, movie worthy, so to speak, but just because they're amazing people. And to me, it's really interesting, this idea of death, not to go all morbid, but it's crazy how God makes this art people and makes these works of art with their own personalities, their own like dreams and desires. And then they die. Like, something is very weird about that. And I know death is natural. Well, death wasn't the plan in the beginning, right? We know that. But it's like this idea that there are so many amazing people who I've never met, but even people in my own life, it's like, one day you're not going to be here anymore. And that's crazy. I can't imagine a world without you. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like when someone's on film, on camera, when their voice is recorded, it's almost like even after they pass, like, they're still here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, this person was here. They existed and they had a whole life and they had love and memories and family and community and dreams. You know what I mean? Roberta says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Barbara says, can't comment driving. Okay, please be safe. And thanks for watching. But yeah, so I want to create a film, a documentary about people. Let's do a couple more and then we can go, because it is almost 9 o'clock, you guys. I know y'all got school or work tomorrow. All right, so I'm gonna share this with you guys. I want to go on a solo road trip. Technically, I've been on a solo road trip before to visit my friend, shout out to Denise, in New York. And I had this orange car. Let me draw with orange. Had this orange car named Tangy. And Tangy was the love of my life. I did love that car. It was my first car. And it was bust down. It was broke down a little bit. A lot of my friends remember having to, you know, drive with me to Pep Boys or wherever to get it fixed. Marcus, I remember he had to drive with me. We had to put coolant in the car like every 5 miles because it kept overheating. It was ridiculous. But I drove that car from New York. From Maryland to New York, the long way, the no toll way, because I also didn't have any money, and back to the DMV area. And to me, that was huge. I was like, oh my gosh, look at me. I got a car, I got music, I'm grown. And it was great. And I got to see, you know, one of my dear friends. There we go. I don't know if I'm gonna color this whole thing. But yeah. So technically I've been on a road trip before, but I guess I mean like I want to go on a road trip where I don't know anybody. And is that safe right now? Probably not. And my husband, of course, is like, it's a no for me. But eventually I do want to, I want to drive somewhere, like just drive. And it could be in the car, it could be in the RV. We have an RV. We're taking a break from traveling right now. And no, I've never driven the RV without Jamal. So that would be a learning situation. But at the same time, I feel like there's something in me that just wants to prove to myself that I can do it by myself. I don't know. It could be pride. But Barbara says, pulled over, loving all this. Oh, Barbara, thanks for being here. Winged Wolf 500 says, pics and video help to capture those awesome moments. I agree. I totally agree. And Raina says, OMG, so do I. My husband thinks I'm crazy for wanting to do a solo trip. Do it! No. Listen to your husband. But, you know, if anybody asks me anything, they're like, I want to do this. Let's do it. Let's set up a plan. Let's get it done. Right? But I do think that safety is important. I understand that the world is not such a safe place for a lot of people, especially Black women, and especially just women in general. Like, it's scary out here. It's scary out here for women. You know what I'm saying? Like, just as an aside, like, women really walk out fearing for their lives most of the time. Like, even if they're not, like, aware of it, it's still, like, this, like, I don't know, is this person just being friendly or is this person, like, being weird? You know what I mean? Like, and so there was a post that somebody made, and it's so sad, but they said, what would you do if men didn't exist? If men, like, in general, men didn't exist. And so a lot of women were just like, I would just go for a walk in the night. Just take a walk. It was just regular things, right? And it was really sad because, one, I know a lot of men who are not predators, who are thorough, but at the same time, sadly, I know what that's like. Like, it's like, oh, I can't, should I walk up the street? I'm going to cross the street and walk the other way because this guy is saying, hey, cutie, or whatever. And if I don't give him any time of day, then he's going to call me a B word. You know what I mean? Like, just stupid stuff like that. Like, who wants to be berated going to the grocery store? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it getting worse. Like, there was the story about this woman in DC at a Caribbean festival, and this guy asked to dance with her, and she said, no, thank you. And he shot her. It's like, what is that? This makes me so upset. And so, yes, in a perfect world, yes, I would get in my car and set course for like the West somewhere. But yes, it is scary because the world is scary and people are scary and there are predators out there. Roberta says, I have a film made at a repast of my aunt's passing. Stories were given by her sisters, including my mom. It's a piece of history, and I can rewind it. Have them speak to me about her story. I love that. I think that's a beautiful idea. It's crazy because a lot of people don't think that their stories or their lives are interesting or important. And then you start to talk to them and you're like, wait, what? You did what? Like, huh? And they're like, oh, that's just normal. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, And then, again, on my little soapbox. And then I feel like, especially for like Black folk, like it's such a story of survival. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, oh yeah, I did this and this and this. And it's like, Grandpa, you did what? Like, that is crazy. But for them, it's like, no, I was just doing what I had to do. I was just surviving. And for us, it's like, no, like you're a superhero. Like, this is crazy. But again, you never know what you would do if you were in a predicament, if you were surviving too. So I do want to hear like you guys' wishes for the year, like your crazy dreams. I'll do one more. Because I really want to do this. So even while my husband and I, I'm stuttering. Even while my husband and I traveled in the RV, we got as west as Colorado. And y'all, Colorado was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. Like, we saw mountains in West Virginia and we're like, oh my God, this is so great. And then we get to Colorado and like our breath is just like taken away. Like, what? Like, this is what mountains look like? And if you're anywhere on the East Coast, like literally like the East Coast, everything's just flat. Everything's flat and marshy and kind of like, humid and like, oh, okay, this is nice. The beach is nice. But then you go westward and it's like, God is amazing. Like, and I'm sure people would come to the East and be like, oh my God, the ocean, right? But like the mountains were just like breathtaking in Colorado. Just like, God, you make wonderful things. This is crazy. And the fact that people live next to these mountains and like these forests and just like, oh, this is every day. It's like, what? Like, I'm so envious. Anyway, Colorado was beautiful. And so was Albuquerque. We went to Albuquerque for the Hot Air Balloon Festival in October of 2019. And I want to go again, when everything's better. But I really wanted to go, and I really still do want to go to the Redwood Forest. Should I do red? Again, I've never made it anywhere more west than Colorado or New Mexico. So I still kind of want to go to, does that work? The Redwood Forest. I just want to sit under the trees and just cry. That's all I want to do. Is just sit under the trees and cry. Because what else? Like, this is a tree. Just imagine all this is colored in. Because what else are you going to do? You know what I mean? What else are you going to do? But just marvel. I want to see the Pacific Ocean. Something I didn't write down here, but I want to learn how to surf. But again, I'm deathly afraid of sea creatures. I don't want to get bitten by no shark. This is the forest, y'all, if y'all couldn't tell. But is it? I don't even know what. Okay, I'm just gonna draw a tree because I couldn't even tell you what the redwood forest looks like its leaves. But yes, I really want to see the redwood forest. I want to get under a sequoia tree and just like, again, just cry. And just something about things towering over me makes you, well, I guess because you are small, it makes you feel small. Like, that sounds crazy, but it makes you like, oh my God, like feel the weight of whatever you're under. And tall buildings do that for me, but it's in a scarier way. I feel like tall buildings, I'm like, oh my God, what if something falls? It's like, Alicia, calm down. It's not that nothing's gonna happen. I imagine this is how I'm gonna look next to the tree. So, yay! When I finally get there. So yeah, so I have more things I want to do this year. I want to put out more music. Oh, I guess I should tell you guys since you're here. Since you all are like, oh, I gotta share you guys' comments in 1 second. But yes, since you're here, I have a project that I want to start. It's called the Love Letter Project. And so the idea, I started it last year, but I didn't really keep up with it because life. But I really want to do it this year. If you send me like your story or a question or an anecdote or maybe something that just happened to you that you're happy about or something that happened to you that you're sad about, or just a message to the world you want to share. What else? Anything. If you just want to share anything with me, I want to make art for you. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to, whether it's visual art, whether it's a poem, a vector art image, not like we're doing here. This is just for like fun and play. Or maybe, who knows what we'll come up with. It could be, like I said, a song, a poem, vector art that we usually do here. Or like a mix of all three, or maybe just like whatever I'm feeling that week. Maybe it'll be a painting or something, right? I still want to be able to make art for people. And I think creating is a word. Create is a word for this year for me. And so I just want to make stuff, and I just want to give it, and I just want to give it my all. I just want to go for it. And so I think it would be really helpful to get other stories and little blurbs from other people to spark inspiration and to be able to make a piece of art for somebody. You know what I mean? As opposed to just like, what should I make today? I'll have like a list of stories and things like that. Actually, let me share it with you guys. I'll share the link here. But I'll have like a list of stories and, little things that people want to share that I can spark inspiration from it. Can't do two things at once. But yes, let me post the link. So yes, like I said, it could be anything that you want to share. Let's see. Let me know if y'all can see this. If y'all can see that link. Okay. But yes, like that's my goal. Like, I just want to make art for people. I want to make art that makes people feel good. Make art that, even if it doesn't make the person feel good, it makes them feel seen and heard. And you can also submit anonymous stuff, but you don't have to share your name or anything like that. And what I'll do is I'll send it to you, and I'll also share it with other people. Not your letter, but the art that I made for that letter. And so, yeah, that's my goal, just to make things. So that's really my goal for this year. For year 31, I just want to make stuff for people. And I want people to feel seen, heard, and loved, and valued, and to show people that they don't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? To matter, to be high value, right? Like, you matter right now because you exist, because you're breathing. And because God saw fit to form you, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Barbara says, learning how to sail sounds fabulous, plus seeing the northern lights. Yes. I love the idea of swimming with dolphins, but I'd like to learn how to swim first. That's what I love to do. Yes. Listen, if you can put your face in the water without freaking out, you can swim. You can learn how to swim. I feel like that's the thing that gets people, freaking out, is like, oh God, I'm underwater. But if you can just like relax, then you can swim. You can learn how to swim just like that. My dad was in the Navy, so he taught me how to swim. I think he and my mom taught me how to swim. So they always like, very affirming. Like when I was a child, oh yeah, look at you. Not like, oh my God. Like, I'm sure my mom was freaking out at some point, but because I didn't really have that fear as a child, like, oh God, the water is something I need to be afraid of. I was just, at some point I just learned how to swim. So yes, if you can, doesn't matter. As long as you can put your face in the water and not freak out or have water on your face, like splash on your face, you can learn how to swim. Easy peasy. Barbara says they will give you a life jacket. You'll be fine. Oh, true. That too. That's true. Arena says, I'll be working on my dual citizen. Yes, for St. Kitts this year. First of all, I keep saying St. Kitts. I don't know why. Like, every time somebody asks me, where'd you go? Oh, St. Kitts, and that's not where we went. But no, that's really cool. Can I ask why you're getting a dual citizenship there? Do you have family there, or are you just like interested in moving there? Like, that sounds really cool though. Either way, that sounds dope. Christina says, I love how you use your gifts to bring others joy. That's my hope. That's my hope. That's my dream. And I know, like, people ask, like, what's your dream job? Like, if I could do this all day, if I could just make stuff, if I could just make art from the heart and somehow make enough to eat, you know what I'm saying? And to get out of debt, because Sally Mae keeps calling me, then I'd be set. You know what I mean? If I could live a good life, make art for other people and feel good, like, and just like encourage people, good to go. I'm good to go. I need a logo for my new little RV that I call Ladybug. Oh, yay! Congrats on the RV. That's exciting. Where are you going to go to first? I want to know. Ooh, and a logo. I can try. I can try something. Okay, cool. So you can see the awesome, the link. So yes, feel free if you want some art from me, feel free to send me a message. It could be a letter, a question, something that happened to you, something that means a lot to you, like maybe a moment in time in your life that meant something to you. It could be how you feel about somebody you love, whatever. Like, it could be that you hate your life right now. That could work too. Or this person gets on your nerves and you just got to get off your chest. And you can share it, and I will make art from it. I will try to make something for you, and then I'll also share it with other people. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be happy either. It could be whatever emotion you're feeling that day. And it can also be anonymous. So even if you want to share something that's on your heart, like, and maybe you don't want other people to know who you are, or, whatever, that's fine too. Like, you don't have to put your name, just be anonymous. Okay, perfect. Art from the heart. Yes. I love how that sounds. That's awesome. Winged Wolf 500. You can blame movies for your water fear. Yes. I blame Stephen King for Mind Clowns. Oh my gosh. I remember watching that as a child, and that scarred me for life. But the movie that messed me up was Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense was a movie that, like, I can never watch scary movies ever again. I was way too young to watch that movie. And I stayed up all night after I saw that thing. So yeah. Fears is like, where'd this fear come from? And I bet you it's from movies. I bet you. And like sharks and Jaws, that actually makes a lot of sense too. Arena says, my grandfather was from there. Oh, nice. My mom got hers before she passed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So I can get mine. I would like to move there later. That's cool. That's cool. That sounds like a move. That does. But yes, like I said, thank y'all for being here. It's 9:13. I want to respect your time. 9:13 Eastern Standard Time. So people are getting ready for tomorrow. And and so I might be here tomorrow to do music with you guys live. But if not, I hope that you all have a wonderful week. Again, feel free to send me your letters, your notes, and things like that. If you want to make some art, I would really appreciate it. And I'm gonna shout out everybody that was here, of course. Gotta shout out Jamile, yay! Marcus, Arena, Barbara, Last King, Christina. Let's see. One Above All. Yes. Roberta. Thank you. Winged Wolf 500. Barbara again. Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you all being here. And yes, have a good night. You stay blessed too. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, possibly. We'll see. It's the birthday week. My husband has stuff planned. So I honestly don't know what's going on. But I'll talk to you guys the next time I'm here. So love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.